the inventory valuation under absorption costing and variable costing. I'm going to determine the cost of the finished goods inventory reported on the balance sheet under both the absorption costing and the variable costing concept. Notice that I am reading the question. I didn't read all this information first. I jumped right down to say, what do I need to do? And that's a good habit to have, especially when you're getting into these quizzes and tests. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to do the absorption costing. Under the absorption costing, our fixed factory overhead will be included in the cost of the inventory. Under variable costing, it is not, because we treat it as a period expense. So I'm going to take a look at it, and it says at the end of the first year of operations, 4,200 units remained in our finished goods inventory. The units manufactured during the period were as followed. The costs: we have direct materials of $39.80, we have direct labor of $18.50, fixed factory overhead of $5.60, and variable factory overhead of $4.90. Well, for absorption costing, I'm going to take those costs I'm going to take all of these costs and add them together. So we'll go ahead and add those. So I take the 39.80 plus 18.50 plus 5.60 plus 4.90. So my total cost under absorption is 68.80. Okay. Now for variable costing, I'm only going to use the direct materials, the direct labor, and the variable factory overhead. I am not going to use the fixed factory overhead. So for my costs of each unit, it's going to be adding those numbers together. It'll be 63.20. So that's the cost per unit for each one of those methods. Now obviously, to finish this problem, I'm going to have to multiply these items by the 4,200 units and multiply this one times the 4,200 units to get my total value of the inventory. So 63.20 times 4,200, that would be 265,440. And if I take the 68.8 for the absorption costing times 4,200, is 288,960. So that would be the correct answers for these questions. Another point that I want to share with you, and you may have noticed, is when I'm looking at this, if I am trying to compare what the difference in net income would be using the two methods, all I have to know is the change in the number of units in inventory and the fixed factory overhead cost. Multiply the change times that number, and I can figure out the difference in what the income would be under those two scenarios.